right, we're going to bring in former deputy campaign manager for Donald J. Trump for president, Mr. David Bossie. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning.
Breaking news this morning. We were just interviewing Kellyanne Conway. We had heard word that Mike Dubke, the communications director under President Trump, was stepping down, was resigning. We asked her about it. Listen to this.
In terms of, quote, staff shakeups, you know, I always read things that simply aren't true. I work here every day. It's much more collaborative than people realize. I think that we're constantly being told by people who have never worked in any White House, let alone this White House, exactly what's going on here.
All right, we have on the bottom of the screen that Mike Dubke is out as the White House communications director. Can you confirm that, yes or no?
So what I will say is that he has expressed his desire to leave the White House and made very clear that he would see through the president's international trip.
All right, so David, what's your reaction?
Well, you know, I don't know Mike Dubke very well, but he has done a good job in trying to put together a communications staff at the White House, and it looks like it's his time to move on because the White House looks like it's going in a little bit different direction.
David, you've been on this program multiple times saying, hey, we need different personnel, more personnel. Is this the extent of what may change, or should we expect to see additional changes?
I look at this White House as a very good, the nucleus of a very good team. I think that they are very dedicated to this president and to the president's agenda and getting it through Congress and enacting all of the policies that he got elected on. What I think is it's much more about addition than subtraction. In essence, they need to really fill their ranks. They've really been kind of a Spartan crowd at the White House. They need to beef it up, and they need to bring in some talent who are dedicated to the president's agenda.
So we understand that Kellyanne confirmed with us there's going to be a war room-like thing set up immediately to rapid respond to all the other media outlets that seem to be running with unnamed sources, for example. And among the names brought up, David, are you and Corey Lewandowski. I guess you can speak for yourself. Is that something you're considering?
I hate to speak for myself, Brian.
Well, cue your spokesperson.
Through a spokesperson, I'll say, you know, it's an honor and a privilege to consider the President of the United States your friend. He's somebody I've known for a long time. I worked on his campaign. I worked on the transition. And so for me to be reached out to talk about opportunities that present themselves at the White House is kind of a heady thing for a little guy like me. And so I don't know what's going to happen, but the White House needs good people who mean well for the country and who want to do the right thing for the country. And so they've talked to, you know, many people, including me.
David, is that a yes? Have you been asked?
No, I'm not going to say that that there's something sitting on the table for me to pick. That would be a little. I think it's an ongoing conversation, and I think that's a fair way to put it.
When you say when you say they're Spartan ranks, how short are they in terms of manpower?
Well, it's an incredibly hard job. The hours are incredible. The intensity is like nothing you've ever seen. So you need as many people locked arm in arm as possible to help the president every single day, because that's your job, is to get the president's agenda through. And so, you know, when you have
about 1,000, I hear, David. I hear there's about 1,000 people that need to be appointed.
Oh, but Brian, I think it's probably more than that across the government. But inside the White House staff, that's what I'm talking about, is just the fundamentals of trying to bring in some folks who can help alleviate the stress on those that are there and make it run just easier and cleaner.
Well, David, the media has been unrelenting, as you know. There have been questions about the best way to handle that media. The war room's being talked about, something we've already discussed.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
It's confirmed that it's going to happen. That's part of it. But daily briefings have been in question from both the president and otherwise. We had Speaker Gingrich on this program this weekend, asked him about should they cancel the daily press briefings. This is what he had to say.
If I said to you, oh, there's a lion eating a zebra, you wouldn't go, oh my gosh, I thought they'd become friends. How could that lion be eating his friend? You go, yeah, they're a lion. They eat zebras, okay? The left-wing media hates Donald Trump. The left-wing media wants to destroy Donald Trump. This is why they should cancel the daily briefings.
All right, well, we had Kellyanne Conway on, as you know, earlier in the show, and she did confirm that Sean Spicer is going to do that press briefing at 2 o'clock today. What can we expect?
Well, I think Newt is exactly right. The mainstream media is in to destroy this presidency and to, for the first time, nullify an election. And the American people need to stand up and say enough's enough. And that is part of the problem that I see is once we won, you know, we get a little complacent. Our side gets a little complacent. No president has ever seen a permanent obstruction campaign like President Trump.
But is the White House press shop going to stand up and say enough's enough? We're just not going to do this anymore. We're not going to submit ourselves to this every day because it takes so many hours to prepare for it. Then you get assaulted. Then you got to deal with the backlash. Why is it worth it?
First of all, only in the last 15 years or so have we really seen the advent of the celebrity press conference, right? That's what it's become. And for 220 years, the American people didn't have to deal with that. So I think my position isn't that the White House should put out less information. It should be maybe done differently. So Sean Spicer and the communications team, maybe the war room, can push back in different ways without having to take this daily beating that's a ritual by the mainstream media. And I find it to be really offensive.
Wow. All right, David, so you would cut it back. David Bossie, thanks so much. Good luck with your decision.
Thanks for having me.